IT governance, part 5. This is the last part in this series. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 have been done. This is the part 5 of it. So you are welcome. My name remains Agboile Christopher. The table of content remains the same. So we're going to continue from where we stopped about alignment, strategy, alignment. So we talk about qubits in our previous presentation. So qubits control objectives for information and related technology, which contains response to management needs on control and measurements, which provides a tool to assess and measure the enterprise capability over the 34 qubit IT processes. The tools we're talking about is for performance measurements, called performance measurement elements. Also have another tool, a list of critical success factors, which provides succinct documents for best practice for each of the IT processes. Now here, the document we're talking about is non-technical. So it's for people across board to have access to it and understand. And we also have the maturity model, which assists in benchmarking and decision making for capability improvement. So looking at the framework, IT governance, you see a set of objectives, which is to align IT with business and also enable the business to run smoothly, effectively, efficiently, and also to maximize benefits from the use of ICT. Then another objective is IT resources should be used responsibly. Yes, you should not use it anyhow or non-compliance. We also have another objective that related risks are properly managed, inherent and also associated risk in terms of expansion. Now, these objectives, you need to put control that will enable value from the use of IT or investment in IT. Now, you have direct and reports. Direct control should be, okay, that's plan. Direct on actions, that's do. The control should also be on check and correct. You have do, plan, do, check, correct. We are talking about planning on the IT activities, actions on IT activities, checking of IT activities, and correction of activities in IT to realign with the business strategy. Now, on the planning, you have planning and organization. On the do, we talk about implementation of the IT activities, acquisition and implementation. Talk about expansion projects. Yes, IT projects. Then you now talk about, you check the delivery and the support. The delivery has to do with value for IT activities and how IT activities support the business as it were. Then you now talk about monitoring the IT activities. So there should be a control, or there should be controls on plan, do, check, and also correct. Then let's look at the report aspect of it, because you have the control should be on direct and also be on the report. Now, the report should be on risk management. Now, there should be a report to show that, look, IT is secure, IT is reliable, and IT complies with the set rules and set and objective. Okay, so the report should also include, excuse me, realized benefit on uh, increase in automation. How is it effective in helping the business? And also, did we realize benefits in terms of decrease in costs, in terms of where businesses are being done? Does it save money after the implementation of IT projects? So it's a circle. It's a circle that you continue to align, you continue to monitor, evaluate, and re reevaluate as the case may be. Here is the application of COBIT processes. So you're applying COBIT here, talking about information. What are those things that you should look at? You see effectiveness, efficacy, confidentiality, integrity, availability, compliance, and reliability. These are things you want to protect by the implementation, the controls that you want to realize, the benefit that you want to realize by the implementation of IT governance. So you look at plan and do. This is the that's called alignment. Yes, this is where you are aligning it with COBIT framework. You have all the processes there as it relates to each of these processes and items. Talk about plan and organize. So you look at PO1, PO2, and all of these things are in COBIT framework. You now look at acquire and implementation. If you want to carry out acquire and implementation, you consult COBIT on these AJ1 and so on and so forth. Then also delivery and support. These ones are the ones that will help you to deliver best practices. So you follow through to monitor and evaluate. Now, at the middle, you have IT resources. Talk about application, talk about information, talk about infrastructure, and you talk about people. All of these impact on the IT resources that will also impact on information. Is it talking about confidentiality, talking about integrity, talking about availability, talking about compliance and reliability? So when you apply, if you're applying COBIT framework, these are the ways it can assist you in designing your IT governance. So we are still on IT governance and COBIT mapping. Here you have plan and organize. This is clearer. Now it's impact, and you have the importance, level of importance. You look at IT governance focus areas. Now P stands for primary and S stands for secondary. So you look at the focus areas accordingly and you assign their individual status to it. Like P for P1, PO1, P01, you have P for strategic alignment, you have X for resource management, you have X for risk management. So you look at that as you map them with their importance, level of importance. Like for example now, define a strategic IT plan is very important, so it's high. Define the information. So PO stands for plan and organize. AL or AI plan, means acquire and implement. YDS means deliver and support. So you see the mappings there. Now let's look at service management, customer service management. If you want to implement for customer service management in terms of your IT governance, it's most advisable to use ITIL for planning and implementation of service management. So the ITIL is what you have in the graph there, talking about the business and the IT vis-a-vis properly aligned. From the top, you see planning to implement service management, and at the bottom, you have application management. Also, you have a security management. From the business perspective, you have the strategy for your customer service, talking about service management, how you support your customers, and also your service delivery. How do you deliver your service? Ensure that your customers are satisfied and you have their loyalty. They are returning customers. Now, in achieving this, you will implement the right ICT infrastructure and manage the infrastructure effectively. At the end, the customer is happy and the business is growing. So a IT governance is to ensure end-to-end governance of the IT resources to satisfy the customers, satisfy the users, ensure that the business is enabled. And in doing that, you implement new applications to support the business goals or needs. Then also putting in place service management to make your customers happy. And in doing that, ensure that you have the appropriate infrastructure deployed to support the business in and out. Talking about in, talk about in internal customers, and out, talk about external customers. And also dealing with the partners at source management, while you're also talking about disaster recovery, risk management, protecting your computer or your IT infrastructure. So this is a comprehensive diagram of IT governance focus areas. Now, how do I choose which framework to use? Most IT governance frameworks are designed to help you to determine how IT functions and the key matrices, the needs, and what return IT is to give to the business for its investments. So if you use Qubit and COSO, you're talking about mainly for risk management. Then you can also integrate it with ITIL, because ITIL is for service, to streamline service and operation. Although CMMI was originally intended for software engineering, it cannot be involved in processes in terms of hardware development, as well as service delivery and purchasing. So you consider the strength of each of them. Of course, you cannot use just one framework. So you talk about MIS. FAIR is also squarely for assessing operational and cybersecurity risks. So you can also bring some part of FAIR into your IT governance to support your business. When you review your frameworks, look at also your corporate culture. Which of the frameworks or model seems a natural fit for your organization? You should also put that into consideration. Does it resonate with your stakeholders? Is it what your stakeholders are looking at? Does the framework possibly the best choice? So because like I said earlier, there's no one single framework that can be adopted. You can have multiples of them, mix of it rather, put together. But you don't have to choose only one framework. For example, you can choose COBIT and ITIL, complement one another in that COBIT explains why something is done or needed, where ITIL provides the how. So why is it needed, where it is needed, but IT will tell you how. Some organizations have used COBIT and COSO along with ISO 27001 standard for managing information security. So you look at the strengths of each of the frameworks and look at how you can integrate it with one another and have a comprehensive, formidable IT governance. Now, how do you ensure that a smooth implementation and positive result is realized? Yes, one of the most important parts to success is with executive buy-in. Executive buy-in. So, recommendation for risk management committee with top level sponsorship and business representation is essential to ensure it's an effective program. You need to have somebody at the board level to buy into the case, your business case, and the alignment, as it were, and the value that will be realized from the investment on IT. Should they spend such money, how will the business run in terms of efficiency? So these are the things that someone at the board level should be able to sell to the board, and at the end of the day, sponsor it to help the business to grow. He also will recommend that results with the board or audit committee be developed to develop real attention when items begin to get ignored. So there, when real items are beginning to be ignored, the person at the board level should be able to draw attention so that people can work together in achieving this. So as a significant project, communication line must be open to all, collaborate with all, communicate along horizontal and vertical to get the buy-in, to carry everybody along. Must be opened between various parties. We talk about measure and monitoring the progress of the implementation. And also you seek outside help if needed, as in expertise from outside. So with that, we come to the end of this governance presentation, which is IT governance. Thank you for staying with us all through from part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and the last part, which is part 5, that we just concluded with. So I want to still solicit your support as you subscribe to my channel as a way of encouraging me to continue to provide content. Thank you once again.